Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the man charged with the murder of 3 Floyd County police officers and a police canine is found dead in his cell. And the search is on for the ones responsible for a bold theft that left a southern Kentucky car dealership with a few less vehicles.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock on your Wednesday. We are almost to Friday. Almost. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at that forecast this morning. And thankfully, Brandon, not that much to talk about really this morning.
Not this morning. Yeah. Tomorrow morning might be a different story, and then Friday could be a different story as well. I will go ahead and give you an early heads up. We will probably be in a first alert weather day starting tomorrow morning, so getting you ready for things that are going to be going on.
I told Cameron yesterday, sorry, briefly, that he's going to be mad with me on Friday because I had my car scheduled for a detailing, the same place where you went. And I told the guy, I said, don't worry about the outside if it's raining. I only care about the inside because the inside's a mess.
Well, it all depends on what time you get it done on Friday. Because if you get it done in the afternoon, then it might be all right.
Listen, it's been on the books. I'm keeping the appointment.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's get into the forecast for this morning. Today would be a great day to get a car detailed if you were to do that. I-75 down at London. Not too much traffic going on this morning. 41 down there as you start your Wednesday. It is looking a little chilly out there for some this morning. 30s, 40s, and 50s, but a lot of 40s and 50s out there. Just a few 30s, and mostly kind of in those sheltered valleys. We've got 36 in Ashland, Grundy 35, and Clintwood 36 in Jonesville, 37 Manchester, 38 Middlesboro, 37 Jacksboro, and everybody else is in the 40s and 50s this morning. Temperatures actually going up. They'll head toward the mid-70s by this afternoon. Nice day with a mix of sun and clouds, but those clouds will start to increase later, and those rain chances pick up tonight. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, the man charged with the murder of 3 Floyd County police officers and a canine deputy was found dead in his cell. Our buddy Forbes shares how his death is sending a wave of emotion through the community.
They don't get justice. This is not justice.
Lance Storrs is the man accused of killing 3 Floyd County police officers and 1 canine deputy during the Allen ambush last year.
There's not a punishment that's fit that would fit that crime.
But his day in court will never come. Officials say he completed suicide Tuesday and was found dead in his jail cell.
Another coward act by this guy to deny these people that right.
With mixed feelings throughout the community.
Still, we have no reason, no rhyme to what occurred or what was going through his mind at that time.
Law enforcement officials say they feel everything except sadness.
Somewhat relieved for that, for those family members, the widows and the children of their loved ones who don't have to go through a long trial, hear the details, and then years later relive it again.
But Sheriff John Hunt said some people were ready for that day in court.
Then there's another side of, you take a wounded deputy who's got a leg forever that will remind him of this, who wanted to look this guy in the eye.
Deputy Darren Lawson was shot and injured in the attack, requiring leg amputation. One of many things he feels like Storrs just continues to take from him.
God, I'm so mad. I just can't stand it. You know, I'm so angry that, you know, it's just hard to control. You know, it's hard to put it in words how you feel because you don't really know how you feel. You know, I mean, I know I'm angry and I know I'm upset. I know there's all these things that I want to say that I can no longer say.
While he is hopeful that somehow the families will be able to find peace without speaking their piece.
This is not how it was supposed to end, and it shouldn't have ended this way.
He is still dealing with the fact that he will never get the justice he sought.
You can say it's over now, but, you know, it's not going to be over for everybody else. It's over for him, you know, but it's not over for me. It's not over for the other families that they never got to say what they wanted to say. So now we're just stuck here, just holding our words.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, Deputy Lawson says he will just work to focus on the good things and take the rest out in therapy. And as a silver lining during the storm, the hero and his wife are welcoming a new baby this fall. Well, congratulations to them. A traffic stop turned violent for one Harlan County deputy last week. Police say 31-year-old Corey Ferguson was stopped while riding his bicycle on Sutton Drive in the DeHoyt community. They say he ran off on foot into the mountains. After being caught, he reportedly told police, quote, "You'll have to shoot me and I'm not going back to jail," end quote. Ferguson ran from police 3 separate times before he was finally arrested. He was arrested on 3 separate warrants and is facing several charges. 2 Whitley County men were sentenced to more than a decade in prison for their role in a drug trafficking case. A federal jury handed down the sentences recently for 33-year-old Anthony Anderson of Bethel Road and 45-year-old William Fields of Reynolds Hollow Road. Anderson will spend 250 months, or just more than 20 years, behind bars, while Fields was sentenced to 124 months, which is just more than 10 years in prison. Both were convicted of conspiracy to distribute more than 500 grams of meth, or a substance containing meth, and 100 grams or more of a substance containing a mix of heroin or fentanyl. Well, it's a bold theft that one Southern Kentucky car dealership says took around 40 seconds to pull off. Grayson Passmore has more on the search for the car thieves who drove several vehicles off a Somerset lot.
It really just heartbreaking, you know, that, I mean, it's $600,000 worth of cars gone.
6 Dodge Challenger Hellcats were stolen around 2 Tuesday morning. 4 from inside the Don Franklin Chrysler Dodge Jeep showroom, each with keys inside. The other 2 taken right off the lot. General Manager Adam Bryant says the thieves found the keys for those in the building.
So they came in through the rear garage door. They had some kind of idea how our security system worked, it looked like.
Because, as Bryant says, it took, they believe, at least 7 people 40 seconds to drive off with all 6 Hellcats, each worth around $95,000.
And they were gone. So once they tripped the alarm, it takes 60 seconds before it starts alerting, you know. So they were gone 20 seconds before the alarm ever went off. The response time of the police was like 3 minutes. It was really good.
While 5 of the vehicles have been found, it still gave the thieves time to get pretty far. Bryant says 1 was found in Pulaski County on the side of the Cumberland Parkway, 1 in Adair County, 1 just south of Bowling Green, 1 in Tennessee, and another in Alabama.
And we have an idea where the last one is. Looks like that they damaged the GPS on it, but it's picking up. It seems like it's in Alabama. We've been working with law enforcement there, and they've been helping us track it. So that's really all you can do, you know, and then we just got to go on with business, you know.
In Somerset, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Bryant says one of the recovered Hellcats is likely totaled. 2 of them had no damage, and he doesn't know the conditions of the other 2 that were found. A Republican candidate for governor is announcing his support for medical marijuana in Kentucky. Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles made the announcement during a campaign event yesterday at the state capitol. Earlier this year, Governor Andy Beshear issued an executive order allowing Kentuckians with certain conditions to use medical marijuana they get legally from out of state. Quarles says that order is making it harder to pass legislation.
Well, Andy Beshear and his executive orders have muddied the water on this issue. I've talked to healthcare providers, I've talked to patients, but his executive orders, by bypassing the General Assembly, has caused confusion.
The Kentucky Hemp Association once sued Quarles' administration over another hemp product, Delta 8. Quarles' office had directed law enforcement to consider the product illegal. A judge ultimately ruled against the department, citing the federal policy on hemp. Quarles says he will announce a new policy platform every week until the primary election. That's on May 16th. Advocates gathered at the state capitol for Hunger-Free Kentucky Day yesterday. Quarles, Governor Andy Beshear, and others were part of the program to stress how hunger impacts a lot of Kentuckians, sometimes as many as 1 in 8 and often 1 in 6 children. Food pantry directors say it's not just the poor that need food, and often their clients do not fit a typical mold that most might expect to see.
They're not always that person holding a sign, asking for food. Most often, they're people who go to work every day. They're the working poor.
Last year, Feeding Kentucky served 75 million meals in partnership with 800 charitable feeding agencies. The event ended with Governor Beshear signing a proclamation to end hunger.
6:09 here on this Wednesday morning. We continue to track some cooler temperatures for some, but warmer temperatures for others. 30s to 50s, 35 Clintwood to basically 54. Now Prestonsburg, Pikeville, Logan, and Somerset this morning. That's our range across the south. 61 Atlanta, 65 Memphis. Warm air building in as a warm front pushes in from the south. 59 Myrtle Beach. But on the other side of that front, still 39 in Columbus, 30 in Pittsburgh, and 34 in the Big Apple this morning. I know they had some trouble with some snow yesterday. It might have frozen there in the overnight hours in some spots. So as you head out the door, maybe grabbing a donut. Some donuts sitting on my counter at the house. I kind of wish I had one right now. We'll be seeing temperatures out there in the mid-70s this afternoon and some more clouds as the day goes on. But the chances for showers and storms are back as early as tonight, and the big story will be on Friday. We'll talk more about that coming up. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, President Joe Biden might have to use his veto pen for the first time on a bill that's being debated in D.C.